Cadre, time for another shave video. This time we're going to be doing Oleo's Sandy Cheeks. So Oleo, if you don't remember, is a soap maker out of Chicago, Illinois, and the soap maker's name is Vida. She originally started off with a vegan base and just recently transitioned all of her soaps over to a canard base, which is the duck fat version. So she's one of the only soap makers that I know of outside of maybe the grooming department that is using duck fat in her soaps, and I've had decent success with them in the past. So here is the canard base if you're interested. This is all the ingredients in the canard base. It's actually not that long, not as long as others. Of course, not as short as some like Martin de Condré and Wild West Shaving Company, but it's still not an overly extensive soap list, ingredient list rather. So Sandy Cheeks is supposed to be the smell of sun tanning lotion in a day at the beach. That's the only scent description she gives. She doesn't really give all that much else off of the tub. And by the way, this is a harder soap, almost with a waxy sensation, just short of, we'll say, Martin de Condré hard. So off of the tub, I get a little bit of coconut mixed with maybe a little vanilla, and maybe a touch of something sweet like pineapple or mango, somewhere in those lines. But then it's rounded out with what seems like to be some oak moss, teak wood, maybe some sandalwood in there. But those are very subtle, but it is all very well blended together to give the feel. It gives a very nice feel of being at the beach. The sun tanning lotion smell is not your typical Hawaiian tropic smell that most people try and replicate when they do these types of soaps. So here's a scent description right here. It's pretty simplistic, but I wish that she had been a little bit more descriptive in the scent notes used in this. Reason being is I've used two other of her soaps, and one of them I was fine with. I was Rougere, and the other one, Melonade, my skin had a little bit of a reaction to. So I can't use that, and that's based off of the fragrance notes. The soap formula on my face is fine with, because if it wasn't the Rougere, it would have reacted to the Rougere. But so it'd be nice to be able to try and identify exactly what fragrance note is doing that to my skin, so I can avoid it in the future. All right, so what we're using today, I've already actually went ahead and lathered up, is my TSC Legacy brush, made by Eric Sorrentino. Beautiful example of handmade brush. Razor is going to be the number 7. All right, by Helgestrand, House of Helgestrand. All right, and since we're all lathered up and we already did our prep, let's go ahead and just get right into it. So, like I said, set out the tub, dry was, or even bloomed was a 2. I would say 2 out of 5. Some more water here, and once you lather it up and get it on the face, it strengthens, not by much, maybe 2.5 to 3. I will say that the stronger it gets, you can tell that if it was very much stronger, it would start to get cloying. So I think she did a good job of getting the strength right where it needs to be. Preference-wise, it's a good soap, good soap scent. Is it something I'm going to turn to every day? Probably not. Definitely not my Desert Island soap base or soap scent. Of course, when I'm trapped in a desert island, the last thing I'm going to want to do is smell like a beach. Or try and make myself smell like a beach. looks good. Clear that off today. All right. Let's see how this does. Hold on, I gotta adjust the clock so I keep an eye on my time here. Running a little short on time this morning. Well, it's the 4th. I hope everybody's got some good plans for it. Yeah, they usually do some sort of special dinner out here, so there's that to look forward to. Thank you for all the birthday wishes yesterday, guys. That was awesome. So I don't think I hydrated this quite enough. Slickness isn't quite where I want it to be. That's just due to lack of hydration, I would imagine. I didn't have that problem with this soap before. Overall, it's even being underhydrated, it's still providing really good cushion, and there is some slickness there. We'll check the residual here in a moment, as soon as I finish my neck up. Again, when I do a review on first impressions, this is the first time I use the soap, so I know some people would frown upon that and say, well, you need to give the soap a chance and try and get it dialed in before you actually do the video review. But the way I see it, this is not just a review, this is also a first impression. That's why I list it the way I do. You know, does the soap make me excited? I mean, that's what you're going to get off an initial impression. So, put down the face real quick and see how it does on residual. Doing all right on time so far. It's moderate. It's moderate. Before, when I used this soap, it scored just better than Sterling. Like I said, I think I could bring out a little bit more residual slickness with some water. But all right, I'm going to go ahead and finish up my last 2 passes, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, all done with the shave. So we use Sandy Cheeks from Oleo Soapworks. Final impressions, you know, after a first use. So I like the scent, I really do. It's not one of my favorites, but then again, it's not one of those ones where I'm going to turn my nose up at, like Night Music, Eventide. Those just happen to be, or Midnight Stag would be another one. I'm just kind of like, I can do that. I can do without that one. But it's not going to be one of my favorites. Performance-wise, it performed right where I was expecting to. Once I got a little more water in it, the slickness and residual slickness came out a bit. However, like the Melonade, I did get a tingling sensation with this, so There's something in these two soaps that doesn't agree with my face. I'm almost positive it is the fragrance, one of the fragrance notes. Unfortunately, she doesn't have the fragrance notes listed, so I can't compare it to the Melanie to see if there's anything that's the same. Overall, I mean, it's going to score the same, 49.5, so it is a little bit better soap than Sterling, in my opinion. And after each use, I'm getting used to what it looks like as you get it dialed in. So that wraps up this video. I mean, I can go over what we used. So we did use the TSC Legacy brush right here by Eric Sorrentino, and we also used the CV Helder Strand number 7. And we're walking away with a nice DFS, nice shave. So I hope everybody's doing well. Have a great 4th of July. I might release a video tomorrow. It'll be a short one, but if I don't, have a safe and wonderful 4th of July. And come visit us at the Shave Cadre, www.theshavingcadre.com, and to enjoy more video content, discussions on wet shaving, men's grooming, and other things. So to see you there, guys. Take care.